Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. All righty. Hello and welcome back to the Miles and Goggles Show. I'm your host, Miles, and across my screen, we've got my co-host, Goggles. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Fresh cut, fresh, just everything.
Yes.
I got some sleep last night, so I'm ready for an episode.
Yeah, Goggles is back after missing the last two episodes because he was getting his hair cut. Long process. His hair was so long that, it just took a couple days for him. Couldn't be with us. But he is back and just in time for our playoff prediction video. We are going to be predicting all 8 first-round matchups. We know 6 of them. 2 of them still to be determined because we've got the play-in games happening on Friday night. So Jackson, you want to quickly go over what we think would happen in the 1-8 matchups, really, in case the play-in, or do you want to give your thoughts on the play-in tournament so far since you haven't been with us?
Sure. I'll keep it short and sweet. In our pick'em, I'm 3-1. Of course, DeRozan's daughter screwing me over, like screwed a lot of people over yesterday, including the bettors. But yeah, if you're the Raptors, it's embarrassing missing 18 free throws and losing by, was it 6?
6, and they were up by like 19 in the third quarter.
And then going on to lose because of the missed free throws, but also like there were a lot of other factors, like their defense did not look that strong, and their 3-point shooting in the second half was not nearly as good. So I think if you're a Raptors fan, I would be pretty pissed right now, and I would think I'd be excited to see what they're going to do this offseason because I think they're going to make some moves because they have to.
Yeah, do you think that Nick Nurse is gone?
Personally, I think so, and I think he's going to come and coach a way better, way younger team.
What, the
I
Houston
can't exactly.
Rockets?
I'm not going to say their name because I'd be biased.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, I mean, really, because we were late night, I was just recapping the game. I really didn't go in depth into Toronto, what could happen this offseason, but a lot of things could happen. They could definitely make a lot of moves because there's definitely a ceiling with the core that they have right now. It's nothing like they're not going to win a championship or anything with this core.
Unless they go back and get Kawhi again or something. Just right back with Kawhi.
Yeah, I don't know how that would happen, but and then what did you think in the Western Conference with the Thunder and the Lakers Timberwolves game? What did you think?
The Lakers Timberwolves actually went a lot different than I thought it was going to be. I thought the Lakers were going to blow them out of the water, and they really didn't. I mean, even with Ant not playing very good, like the the Wolves held their own, which was very surprising. Without Jaden McDaniels, without Rudy Gobert, obviously, because he's an idiot. But they played really well, and I think if I'm them going to this game tonight with the Thunder, I'm not as worried as I was, especially getting Rudy back tonight.
Yeah, I was actually in the preview or in the video I released I recorded last night. I was talking about because of the Thunder's lack of size in their front court with the 2 Jalen Williams. I brought up the idea, do you think the Timberwolves should, if Rudy is back, do you think they should play with the idea of bringing him off the bench?
I would actually love that. I think that would be a really good idea.
Because like having Cat at the 4, he really has no one to match up with.
Yeah, because J-Dub's good at defense, but he's not that big enough.
But
For
like I'm
Cat.
talking about the Timberwolves defense. Cat would just get killed on the on
That's
driving
true.
the basket.
Unless you want to put him on Jalen Williams, not J-Dub.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, you could take Rudy off the bench.
Then you have Rudy on the perimeter guarding J-Dub. So either way, it doesn't really work.
Well, I think you would switch Kyle Anderson onto him then. That's why I think
have Rudy guard Dort or something.
No, bring Rudy off the bench.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think that the Timberwolves should definitely play with that idea in that game, but that's.
Or what about Cat off the bench?
What?
What about Cat off the bench?
No, cannot bring Cat off the bench.
Yeah, you're right. Rudy should be a bench player anyways.
Oh man, but Yeah. So I guess quickly before we get into all the series that we do know, let's start with the Eastern Conference because we'll save the better matchups in the West for the second part of the video. So the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round, number one seed, had the best record in the NBA all season. They will play the winner of the Chicago Miami game in the first round. So it's either going to be the Bulls or the Heat. Goglin, what do you think about what would happen if the Bucks played the Bulls or the Heat? What do you think? What do you think will happen? What are your predictions?
If Chicago makes it, then I think they get absolutely slaughtered by Giannis. If the Heat make it, I think they at least stand a chance because they've proven that they can stand a chance and they actually play really well against the Bucks.
Yeah, see, I think that I mean, not surprising. That's kind of what this is meant to happen for the one seed. I think that whoever makes the eighth seed to play the Bucks, I think both the Bulls and the Heat, they get crushed because even though even though they've played the Bucks well in the past, something that's really helped. Obviously, they played the defense against Giannis where they would build a wall, but the Heat, something that they had in past years that they don't have this year, is they do not have a four that could guard Giannis. In the past, they've had a Jake Crowder and
That's
PJ
true,
Tucker.
but I think then you slot Bam onto him because I think Bam matches up really well with him.
But then Brooke Lopez would go crazy.
That's true. So I think it's gonna be tough. Or you could like just tell Jimmy to get big as possible and just have him go on Giannis.
Either way, it'd be tough. But I do agree with you that if the Heat made it, I think they would give the Bucks a bigger push than the Bulls because
Because Chicago's defense is just god awful outside of Patrick Williams.
no, I mean they played an incredible second half against Toronto on Wednesday, but playing against like Pascal and Scotty Barnes, it's a little different than Giannis Antetokounmpo and Brooke Lopez and even Bobby Portis off the bench. So um,
Yeah,
I guess I'll just throw mine out there. If the Bucks play the Bulls, I think it will be Bucks in four. I think it'll be a sweep. If they play the Heat, I think it'll be Bucks in five.
I I can get behind that. I think the Heat could take them to six though.
Okay. So what
I
do you
could
think if
also
they
see a
play the
world
Bulls? What do you think? How many games do you think?
four. I don't think they're stopping Giannis
Okay.
at
And then
all.
you think six if it goes to the Heat?
Yeah,
All right.
five or six. I could see it going either way.
I'm gonna keep track of our predictions here.
Oh no.
Now let's get into the series that we know about. So um let's see. Let's go in the order of the bracket. So who the we think the Bucks would play in the next round. And that is the New York Knicks and the Cleveland Cavaliers, the fourth and fifth seeds, arguably, well, not arguably, this is definitely the most competitive series in the Eastern Conference, possibly
Uh-oh.
the most competitive, closest series in the whole NBA for the first round. Man, I've been going back and forth trying to figure out what I think is going to happen, and it is so close between these two teams. Of course, the huge factor is if Julius Randle is going to be healthy and play. Same with Isaac Okoro for the Cavs. I think something that plays in the favor of the Knicks is the way the schedule is put out there, and that's how it is for some teams, just the schedule. Um, the series, the two teams, it's 2 days of rest between games one and two, and 2 days of rest between games two and three. So basically, you get a whole week. You get two games in Cleveland, which, with how good the Cavs are, home court advantage. Even if Randall was there, the Cavs could probably make a case they'd win both games. If
Um,
Randall's back.
how good Jalen Brunson is on that home court, first of all. Had his best career game there.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing. The regular season, it's hard for me to take too much from the regular season games since all the games were such like outliers.
But then you look at what he did in the playoffs last year too.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough. That's definitely a big matchup with Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell.
So what are your matchups for that? I think Okoro's probably guarding Brunson
Brunson, if he's healthy, for
because
sure.
nobody needs to guard RJ Barrett. That dude's terrible. He's not going to correlate to the playoffs.
I think, yeah, I feel like RJ Barrett doesn't really fit this series.
I think he should be. I honestly, I would bench him for this. Like, do what the Heat did to Tyler Hero last year.
I see. It depends on how he plays because you never know what could happen.
Yeah,
I
if he
think
plays good, I would say give him another chance. But like, if he plays bad game one, I wouldn't give him another chance.
so. I'm thinking that they'd put Okoro on Brunson. If Okoro is healthy, if he's not healthy, it's
Probably
uh,
Donnie.
it's I I don't know who the cat. You probably it would either be a Karis LeVert or a Lamar Stevens that would start for the Cavs. Which I mean, Brunson probably would torch either of those matchups. Okoro is key for the Cavs. I think you probably have Garland guarding Quentin Grimes, Mitchell guarding Barrett, or something like that, and then you have Mobley guarding Randall if he's healthy. That's a great matchup. Then Jared
Or
Allen,
Obi. I
Mitchell
mean, that's a good
Robinson.
matchup too. I think Obi versus um Mobley's good because they match up pretty well in size too.
Yeah, yeah, it works. I think another key thing in this series is going to be the rebounding because the
Which I
Knicks
think that's
have
where Mitchell Robinson's going to outplay Jared Allen, in my opinion. I think like Mitchell Robinson has had some huge rebounding games, and Jared Allen has too. But like Mitchell Robinson's always been like a rebound first guy in a way. I don't know
yeah,
if that makes sense.
yeah, and it's the Knicks also they've got Isaiah Hartenstein off the bench too. That's another solid backup center there that can get rebounds as well. And of course Emmanuel quickly you think's gonna win six man of the year. Um, the bench heavily favors the New York Knicks in this series. That is definitely for sure.
And I think the starters is close. Like it's close. I still think the Cavs are favored, obviously because of Donnie and everything and Garland. But I think the Knicks are way closer in that than the Cavs are in the bench. If
Yeah,
that
yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense.
So and man, you got the Cavs best defense in the league this season going up against the number four offense with the Knicks. It's definitely going to be an interesting series, and I don't think that there will be many blowouts. I think these will come down to very, very close games, and whoever is able to execute down the stretch and whoever stars show up down the stretch, that's going to be key. Um,
The
Chris,
Garden's gonna be crazy.
yeah, Garland's going to be huge, especially if they're going to
No, the Garden.
Oh, the Garden. Oh yeah. Well, and the Field House. Don't sleep. But Garland is going to be huge in this series because with Mitchell, you know that the Knicks are probably going to try to trap him and double him every time he comes across. Whichever guard is bringing it up because of the lack of the Cavs um, shooting, you're probably going to double whichever guard because there's really not many guys that can beat you. You've got, I mean, other than
It's it's,
Mitchell and
it's
Garland.
Garland and Mitchell. Those are the guys who beat you in the starting lineup with shooting.
Yeah, and then other shooters on the roster. Yeah, you're gonna have to hope that Jetty Osman can have some games. Karis LeVert's gonna be an X factor as he is in most series. Personally, for me, I'm gonna pick the Cavs in seven because of home court advantage. But it is so close. I definitely would not be surprised if the Knicks won this series. Because they are a good team and they have some gamers, man. They have some gamers, but I think the Cavs are going to pull it out in seven because of that star power up top. It'll be tons of fun to see all those guys in their first playoff experience, but I think the Cavs will take this in seven. What do you think?
I'm going a little bit of a different route. Okay. I think like all the games are going to be close, but I think one team that has I don't know the more clutch players, I guess, is going to win those games earlier, and I think it's going to be the Knicks. And I could see it going in six. I can see it going in five, but I think the Knicks ultimately are going to take this one.
Dang,
But I
if you
think the
win
Cavs are going to put
five,
up a fight because playoff Brunson last year was just he's different, and he always plays well against the Cavs. Like every game they played this season against them,
but
he was playing them tough.
playoff Donovan, you take away last year. Been a one of the
That's
best
true
playoff
too.
performers in NBA history.
That's true, but now he has to pass the ball more to other people.
Oh my
Brunson doesn't
god,
necessarily have to do that.
that'll only help him. That'll only help him. But
If
so
they hit their shots.
you picking the Knicks in 5 or 6?
I'll say 6 just be a little more like give me a little more leeway if I'm really wrong.
Yeah, I think the way it's gonna go is that either the Cavs win in 7 or the Knicks win in 6. I don't see the Knicks coming into Cleveland and winning a game 7 on the road. But
Okay.
definitely a close series, and I definitely could see the Knicks taking this as well. Um, Next up, let's go to the 2-7 matchup in the East. We've got the Boston Celtics and the Atlanta Hawks. Um, Another matchup of a contender versus a team that got their way into the 7th seed from the play-in tournament and really solid defensive backcourt as well. So, um, what do you think's gonna happen in this series?
Wait, did you say solid defensive backcourt for the Hawks?
Oh my bad, my bad. I saw DeJounte.
One half is good. The other can't defend a park
I know,
foul.
man. I'm losing it with all these late nights.
All right, so my prediction for this is that the Hawks are gonna fall 4-1. Or yeah, 4-1. Because I think the Celtics are just so tough. I mean, Jaylen Brown is gonna they're probably gonna slot him. I'd say they put him on Trey or oh wait, no, Marcus Smart on Trey. So they're gonna put Marcus Smart on Trey, who I think is just gonna put him in Alcatraz. He's gonna like
Yeah.
lock him up. And then I think JB is gonna stop DeJounte. And then Tatum doesn't really have to necessarily guard anyone that fantastic. I mean, Collins can beat you and DeAndre Hunter can, but like he doesn't necessarily have to like guard the best player, which is good for him this series because he'll be better rested, I guess, for the next series. Because guarding a better player is gonna keep him like better. I don't know.
Yeah. The Celtics just I mean, with the guys they've been starting lately, they have terrific defenders at every position. Like you have the all-star backcourt. That's what I meant to say. All-star backcourt for the Hawks with Trae Young and DeJounte Murray. But they're gonna be guarded by Marcus Smart, who was last year's defensive player of the year, and you have a guy that's been arguably the best defensive guard in the league this year, and Derek White, just
Yeah.
guarding those two, locking them up. And then Brown, Tatum, and Horford are no slouches on the defensive end either. So I think that this is going to be a dominating first round series for the Celtics, as it should be, because the Celtics have been so good all season.
Yeah,
Um,
I think the Hawks can take one game at home. I think I'll give them one.
I agree. I think it's going to be similar to last year when the Hawks played the Heat in the first round, where it's just domination, and then maybe the Hawks win a close one at home. But even that, I'm leaning 4 or 5. But I think that Ice Trey can get one game.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think we both agree Celtics in 5 on that one. Now we'll go to the final matchup of the Eastern Conference, which I know you were thinking could be a little bit of a sleeper with the Philadelphia 76ers and the Brooklyn Nets. Um, Talk to me. Talk to me about this series.
I want you to go first.
You want me to go first? You want me to go first? Okay. Well, the Sixers, of course, this year, it seems like we say it every year, but this year has got to be the year for the Sixers to go on a run. It has to be the year for the Sixers to go on a run. You're already shaking your head. Does that mean that you have the Nets winning this series?
I plead the fifth.
Huh?
Yes.
Wow. Jackson is picking the Brooklyn Nets to upset in the first round. Wow. I mean, the Nets do have a ton of they have guys, that can play defense. You've got Claxton on Embiid, you got McHale on James Harden, whoever you want to guard Maxey. They've got guys like Dorian Finney-Smith and Cam Johnson that can do that. But
And with PJ Tucker on the floor, they have someone who can help because PJ Tucker can't score the basketball. That dude is
yeah,
terrible.
yeah. That's what when I was looking at the like matchup for this, like comparing starting lineups, I'm curious to see because looking at the starting lineup, they've been starting Harden, Maxey, Tobias, PJ, and Joel Embiid most of the season, but there was a stretch where they were playing DeAnthony Melton over Maxey for the defense. And I'm wondering in this series particular, because the Nets don't really have like dominant scoring like forward, if they're gonna put PJ off the bench or maybe just bench him entirely and start Melton, Maxey, and Harden all together. So you could have Melton guarding Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, wait, can you repeat that really quick? Sorry, there's like other stuff going on.
Yeah. If the Sixers would start D'Anthony Melton over PJ, have PJ come off the bench and you'd start Harden, Melton, then Maxey, they'd be really small in the backcourt, but you'd have a terrific defender guarding Mikal Bridges, which they really don't have in their starting lineup right now.
That's true, but like watching Macau recently, like even if you put a really good defender on him, he's gonna find ways to score. Especially with like the shooting, like how he shoots is just weird because he releases it from such a weird spot. It's like Kevin Durant. It's tough to get like it's tough to stop him when he's on. And I think Macau's gonna be on this series because he's not like a new playoff guy. He's been in the playoffs plenty of times before with the Suns
It'll be
when he was in the.
it's his first time as the number one guy though.
That's true. And I think that could play a big part, but I think Dinwiddie is also a vet who could, like, if McCall is struggling a little bit, could kind of pick up that slack if need be. And Dorian Finney-Smith knocks down big shots. Cam Johnson's a great scorer as well. And I think Claxton's an underrated, like, if Embiid's kind of like slower on defense than he usually is, or if he's like just kind of taking it easier because he's gonna think it's gonna be a breeze to get through that series. I think Claxton the first couple games could take advantage of that for sure.
Yeah, definitely could. I mean, we look at this Brooklyn Nets team because this is basically the remnants of who they got from the Durant and Irving trades and the guys that were already there. This team is not young, but they do have experience. Like you said, um, their whole starting five really with Dinwiddie, Bridges, Finney Smith, Cam Johnson. Claxton's only 23. He probably has the least amount of experience, but he's played with, Durant and Irving before, so he knows how to play with good teammates. And then off the bench, you've got vets like Seth Curry, Joe Harris. Like this is not a team that lacks experience. Um, it'll just Joel Embiid. The main thing I'm worried about the Nets is because if Claxton gets into foul trouble guarding Embiid, which it's inevitable when you're playing Joel Embiid, the Nets
Joel Embiid's a sissy.
the Nets have no backup options. They have Day'Ron Sharp and they picked up Nerlens Noel at the end of the season. But
Don't sleep on Nerlens Noel. Nerlens Noel can be a good defender.
he's been terrible this season though
It's change.
for the Pistons and the Nets. But I mean, we'll see what could happen. I mean, Nerlens Noel, he's played 3 games for the Nets.
Yeah.
Like whoever the backup center is for the Nets, they're not going to stand. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for them if Embiid's going to have a huge series. The Nets might play this series like, okay, Embiid, you we'll let you score. We'll let you do what you want. We're not going to let anyone else get involved. I think that's the main way the Nets can make this a series.
Or they could do what Boston did to them last year, and they could just say, "All right, we're gonna shut down Embiid, and we're gonna one-on-one everyone else because, like, other than Harden, everyone else you could guard one-on-one, especially with how good their defenders are." And I mean, even McCall on Harden, like I trust that a lot more than I would trust like a lot of other matchups.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So, yeah, the Nets. This is definitely a sleeper series.
I have
So,
it going to 6.
are you picking the Nets or the Sixers?
The Nets.
Nets in 6. Wow, I'm picking the Sixers in 6
I'm
because
rolling with Jacques.
oh my gosh, if they lose in the first round,
Trade them
it's
all.
over. It's over. They can't come back from this.
Trade Doc Rivers.
They can definitely fire for sure if they lose to this Nets team.
Trade Doc Rivers for Austin Rivers.
How great of a story would that be
That'd be
Like the
fun.
Nets after all these
Oh,
trades beat the Sixers in the first round, and then the Sixers with MVP Embiid and Harden playing great, Maxey playing great. They have this is I mean, this is the best team that they've had in a few years, despite what their records have said in the past. They cannot lose in the first round. That's why I've got the Sixers in 6. But that I'm sure that the Sixers would have preferred to play a different team in the first round than the Nets.
honestly, yeah. Because I think
Um,
they match up with them so well. Like it's sneaky, but they match up so well with them.
all right, but now let's head over to the Western Conference. Let's quickly go over the 1-8 matchup over there. So the Denver Nuggets locking up the 1 seed. They're awaiting the winner of Oklahoma City versus Minnesota, which is happening tonight.
They 4-0 either of those teams.
You think?
I think it's just they're too experienced in the playoffs. And I mean, Minnesota's had some experience, but if they play the Thunder, I don't think the Thunder have the experience.
Oh no. The Thunder, I don't think stand a chance in that series. Um,
Jokic will probably average a 50-point triple double if they play the Thunder.
they, yeah, they
Jalen's not guarding him.
no one's guarding him in the league, but especially if they play the Thunder.
Well,
Uh,
last night Jalen did his best in like Walmart impression of him. He had 8, 8, and 8.
yes, he did.
He was getting Nicola ready.
Yeah. But what do you think about if they played the Timberwolves?
I think it's still a 4-0.
You think it's a sweep?
Every time I watch Rudy Gobert go against like Jokic or like a center with really good footwork, he gets torched. Like it's
Yeah.
weird. And Jokic is just so hard to guard. And then you add all the other aspects like Jamal Murray. Playoff Jamal Murray is amazing. I mean, he went toe to toe with Donnie a couple years ago. They both had a couple 50-point games in that series.
Yeah.
And then you add Michael Porter Jr., who is an absolute sniper for them, and Aaron Gordon, who was almost an all-star this year. I mean, that team is good, and KCP can shoot. So it's like they have a bunch of shooters around the best passing big man of all time.
Yeah.
Like
I think I think it's a sweep if they play the Thunder. I think if they play Minnesota, that'd be a little more interesting because Rudy is still a solid defender. Um, I think that if they played the Timberwolves, I'd probably pick the Nuggets in 5, maybe 6, probably 5 though. Um,
that's fair.
so all right, now let's move on to the 4-5 matchup in the West. We've got the LA Clippers and the Phoenix Suns. Jackson, what do you think about this series? This is a series that I think could have a decent amount of potential. It has, well, first of all, I know you're shaking your head, but we got to appreciate one quick thing right off the bat. Kawhi versus KD, KD versus Westbrook, Westbrook versus Chris Paul.
Devin Booker is amazing though.
Well, yeah, for sure. But first, we gotta appreciate those matchups that us longtime NBA fans have been seeing for a long time. It's
Because
gonna be
PG's not playing, right?
PG is not playing
Yeah,
to
this is
start
easy.
to begin the series. To begin the series, that's key. He could come back later.
This is I think it's Suns in 5.
Wow, Suns in 5. Okay,
Kawhi can only do so much.
that's true. That's true. I mean, without Paul George, they do have depth players. I think Norman Powell's going to have to be huge for the Clippers. Um,
True. But I think the Suns have a good defender at every position. I mean, Chris Paul is not the worst defender ever. Devin Booker can defend enough. And then I mean, whoever they start at the 3, Josh Okogie or Torrey Craig, I think they're fantastic defenders in their own right. Kevin Durant is amazing on defense, and DeAndre Ayton, I mean, as a center, isn't the best, but also he's going to be guarding Zubac, so it's not like he's guarding an elite level center.
yeah, the Clippers are going to have to play some small lineups. You might see Robert Covington in there.
Definitely not Marcus Morris though.
No, Marcus Morris has been awful. They do have Mason Plumlee, who's been a good pickup for them since the since the trade deadline when they acquired him from Charlotte.
The ambidextrous man.
Yes. But yeah, I think the Suns take this in 6 because I gotta respect Kawhi. Back in the playoffs, he always goes insane in the playoffs, except for when they're locked up in a bubble. But I'm picking the Suns in 6 because I mean they're just so great, and with Kevin Durant, they never lose. They never lose when Durant is playing. So in
Imagine
the
they just go
short time,
25-0 with Kevin Durant. They just win the next 16 games.
I know they sweep the playoffs, and it's like, oh my gosh. But yeah, so
Go
you're picking
82-0
Suns in
next year.
5.
I think it's just you can't keep up with that scoring for more than a game. Like after the first game, you're kind of just done.
Yeah, we'll see.
Like if
Yeah,
they got to take at least game one. If they take the first 2 games, maybe they have a chance. But I think it's Phoenix is going to get out there. They have home court advantage for the first 2 games, and I think nobody's stopping them in Phoenix, let alone like on the road either. So it's just going to be tough.
yeah, yeah. I'm picking the Suns in 6, but definitely think the Suns are going to look very impressive against a Clipper team that does have good defenders, and I think that's going to make what the Suns do all that more impressive. I think they're going to have a great series.
Yeah, who's guarding Book?
Yeah, I mean, lately the Clippers they've been starting Eric Gordon, who was a solid defender
He
earlier
can't
this
guard Devin Booker.
year, but that's not going to
He
work.
can't guard. I've watched that man too much to know he cannot guard Devin Booker.
There's Terrence Mann. You got Norman Powell, who's not the best, but Nick Batum, Rocco. You're just gonna have to throw guys on him. I mean,
Just literally throw guys at him.
yeah, I mean, you could see a stretch of games where, like, if they play Robert Covington, where they put him on Durant and then you put Kawhi on Booker.
I could see that, but then like DeAndre Ayton's gonna be feasting.
Yeah, Ayton could feast again. Zubats and Plumlee, they're okay defenders, but Ayton could have a big series as well.
Or you just put Kendall Jenner courtside and Devin Booker shut down.
Oh God, Glenn. Oh my gosh. All right. Next up, let's go to the Memphis Grizzlies and the Los Angeles Lakers, a series that, man, I don't know. I don't know.
Who's stopping Bron? Absolutely nobody. Dylan Brooks, yeah, right.
Dude,
There's nobody. There's nobody who's gonna stop playoff LeBron James. Give me Lakers in 5.
What? Lakers in 5?
I said it.
Dude. Oh my gosh.
They're gonna put Jared Vanderbilt on Ja, and it's gonna be an interesting matchup, and I'm gonna love it.
They could, man. I think the
Who's guarding
the
Austin Reeves?
Grizzlies, other than LeBron James, they match up pretty well with the Lakers.
Nobody's guarding Austin Reeves. Absolutely nobody.
Oh, come, Austin Reeves has been good. Let's not act like he's the next coming of Jesus or something. You're gonna have Jaren Jackson up for defensive player of the year. He'll guard Anthony Davis. That will be a heck of a matchup to watch.
I still think AD is gonna absolutely torch him.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the Lakers with the tough season that they had, you wonder if they're just happy with making the playoffs or if they're gonna perform.
LeBron's not satisfied.
No, LeBron, I think he's gonna go crazy in this series. The Grizzlies, I kind of want to pick the Grizzlies, and I think the Grizzlies would win this series. But
if LeBron wasn't fired up,
not even that. I want to see this Grizzlies team lose in the first round.
I want to see them get humbled so bad.
I want to see them get humbled so bad. I
want LeBron to drop 35 a game on Dylan Brooks and then just send him somewhere.
I don't know if it's because I'm like, even though I'm 18 years old, I'm such an old geezer, but I'm so tired of them going into every arena doing the gritty before the game, like they've done stuff. They had not done anything.
Haunting the Warriors every time they play.
Like they've won a title. All they've done is they've won one playoff series. That's it. That's all they've done, and they act like they've won the title.
Wick.
Ugh. And no Steven Adams, I think, could be big for the Grizzlies too. So, well, and no
Jared
Brandon Clark
Vanderbilt
as
could be
well.
a sneaky little scorer.
Yeah,
He can give you 15 a game.
I'm
And
thinking
D'Lo's disgusting in the playoffs.
we'll
Dude is
see.
so good.
D'Angelo Russell, he played bad in the playing game, but then you got Dennis Schroeder to step up. We could see Lonnie Walker step up and have some games. Obviously, you think Austin Reeves the GOAT. Um, I'm leaning with Lakers in either 6 or 7, trying to figure out what I think. You're picking Lakers in 5, right?
Yes.
Wow. See, another thing that like I want to decide against this is because the last few years, well, so historically in the NBA, the 7 seed never beats number 2. It's more common for an 8 to beat a 1 seed than the 7 seed to beat the 2 seed.
But
And
it's
the
different
last
because
couple,
that 7 seed is LeBron James' team.
but we said that 2 years ago when they played against the Phoenix Suns and they still lost. Last year, the Nets and Celtics, that was supposed to be the series of the first round, and the Celtics swept the Nets. So I don't know if I'm just thinking too much into this and I should just pick the Grizzlies. But I'm going to go for it. I'm going to pick the Lakers in 6. I want to see this Grizzlies team humbled so bad
Me too.
because I hate
Now, if Ja's seeing this, hey, Ja, it's no hate. No hate.
from you. Now
He's hating.
we'll go to the final series in the Western Conference, and that is the 3-6 matchup. But the teams seeded differently than I'm sure anyone expected coming into the season, and that is the number 3 Sacramento Kings and the number 6 Golden State Warriors. Sacramento back in the playoffs for the first time in 17 seasons. They've got home court. The Golden One Center is going to be loud. You're going to hear tons of cowbells all around the arena. But I'm picking the Warriors. Got to
I'm
pick.
not.
You're
I'm
not.
not.
Dude,
I'm
this guy is going with all the crazy picks.
Listen. This Kings team cannot play defense to save their lives. But it's okay. Because De'Aaron Fox is going to absolutely torch this Golden State team. And I think Sabonis down low is going to be absolutely nasty. But I also think Kevin Huerter is going to step up. I think, who else do they use? Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes in the playoffs is good. He's going to be amazing for them. I think
he isn't. This is his first playoff appearance in like 7 years.
I don't know.
Since
And he has something to prove.
Warriors.
He has something to prove. But I think this team is going to do a lot better than we think they're going to do. And I think they're going to surprise everyone and win in 7.
Wow.
I think with their home atmosphere, they're going to crush them at home. I think they're going to crush the Warriors at home. Because if we saw how that place was during the regular season. Imagine playoffs. And the Sacramento fans
it's
are
gonna
amazing.
be fun to watch, but I've gotta go with the Warriors and their experience, especially while we were taking a quick break. I got a notification, a tweet from Shams that Wiggins is back. Wiggins is going to play. He's gonna play. They're gonna have him play about 20-25 minutes in a bench role. I've got to pick the Warriors because of their experience. The Kings, their lack of experience, their only experience is
never
from guys that play are really Harrison Barnes.
And it's the bonus 1 year in Indiana with
yeah,
Oladipo.
even then, that's not really much. I mean, they have compared to the Warriors, they really have no experience besides their coaching staff, which came from the Warriors, and Harrison Barnes, which came from the Warriors. And shout out to Matthew Dellavedova. Well, come on, NBA champion. But yeah, I've got to pick the Warriors because in playoff series, I guess despite or besides the Nuggets series last year because it's against the MVP, they find a way to make the opposing centers unplayable. They find a way every single time because they just go
I know it's
slow and
annoying.
they keep moving the ball. If they put Draymond Green at the 5 and they've got Wiggins back and they can run a mini death lineup, Hampton's 5 lineup, I think that will crush the Kings.
I
And
hate it so much. I hate them.
I don't see the Kings going into San Francisco and taking a game.
No, but they don't need to.
Well, I know the Warriors stunk on the road this year, but I know how they are in the playoffs. I don't see them losing every game in Sacramento. I think if they take one of these first 2 games in Sacramento, that's a wrap.
I think if they take it, they take one of the first, I think it's whoever's going to win a game on the road. But
I am picking the Warriors in 6, and I think that if Golden State takes Golden State could easily take the first 2 games. We know how the Warriors are in the playoffs. They're just so dominant. But
I know more than anyone. I'm a Rockets fan. That's all I ever see.
I'm a Cavs fan. We've both seen it like the same amount. But
True.
I'm picking the Dubs in 6, and also because I still stand by my point at the beginning of the season, especially now with Wiggins back. When the Warriors have been healthy over the last 8 years, they've won the title every year, and I'm sticking with them even though they're the 6th seed.
Okay, keep that in mind.
Yes, keep that in mind when they win it all.
I'll keep that in mind when the beam's in the air.
If the in one game, you're gonna go crazy after like one game and be like, "Oh, the Kings are winning it all." But hey, for Sacramento Kings fans, some playoff victories and playoff success in any one series. I mean, honestly, just this appearance and this whole season has been like winning a championship for them since it's been so long. So just really happy for Kings fans.
What's going to be like in 10 years when the Rockets make the playoffs?
It won't be 10 years when they get Harden and Nick Nurse next year with Scoot Henderson, and they have like 5 guards that they don't know how to play them all.
You're making me excited now. Stop, please.
I'll make you excited. But yeah, those are our playoff predictions. Let us know what you guys think if you agree with Goglin's crazy takes. But please leave your comment down below what you think is going to happen in these series, what you think the closest matchup will be, what you think will happen in the Cavs, Knicks, if the Lakers will make it, this Warriors Kings matchup, if the Nets can beat the Sixers.
They will.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll have more coverage of the playoffs in the coming days. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you want more NBA 2023 playoff content. We got our Twitter links in the description below. Goglin, did you say you were going to work on an Instagram or something?
That is in the works right now.
It is in the works. So definitely be on the lookout for that. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Miles.
I'm Goggles.
And we'll catch you in the next one.
Peace.